This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by SupportYourApp. SupportYourApp specializes in supporting Mac and iOS apps since 2011. When your app gets featured in the App Store, SupportYourApp will help you deal with the avalanche of customer feedback, will help you build your support processes faster, and will save your developers time to focus on the product. Learn more at SupportYourApp.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at WWDC and AltConf in San Jose. I found Gregorio of iMazing wandering the halls, and I thought it might be a good chance for us to catch up a little bit. Gregorio, it's great to see you.
Great to see you too, Chuck.
So, iMazing. iMazing is amazing, and it's created almost a new standard in iOS device backups, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree. Hopefully you won't disagree.
I won't disagree. Thank you so much for saying that. It's been our goal since last year. When we met last year, we were just launching iMazing Mini, the free tool that lets you automatically back up your iOS devices to your Mac or PC. The PC version is still a bit late. We're still working on that one. But the Mac version has been very successful, and we're now backing up many, many devices all over the world. So, yeah, that's great.
Well, the Mac stuff is the important stuff. The PC stuff, we'll get to later.
We'll get there.
I'm really curious, though, before we dig too much into iMazing, though, what your reactions were to the keynote, and especially how it might affect iMazing now and going forward.
So every keynote is an exciting event for us, and at the same time, it can be a bit stressful because sometimes things break. It means that our summer will be spent adapting iMazing instead of developing new features. And this year, it was very nice to find out that nothing broke, everything works, and actually there are some features that we can actively use to make iMazing even friendlier for users, among which the new gatekeeper features. App notarization is a new mechanism in macOS Mojave, which will let us add a certification pass to our app so that when users launch it, they don't have the gatekeeper warning anymore. And yeah, that's a great opportunity, actually, and we're very happy that Apple went this way, and it actually shows inclusion from Apple towards apps which are not distributed on the App Store, which is very reassuring as well.
And that's a little surprising because the App Store is such a big thing for Apple, and it's such a big thing really for consumers as well, because we keep hearing, and I keep telling people that, please go to the App Store if you have, sort of common needs, if you will. If you're not comfortable trying to sideload something or, do something else, the App Store is a very safe place to go. But this means that, apps like yours don't have those problems that some others might.
And I think in general, apps that need to go a bit lower level in the system, apps that cannot live with strict sandboxing rules, they just cannot be on the App Store. So it'll be our kind of apps, iOS device managers. It'll be backup apps. It'll be parallels like virtual machines, screen recorders. Quite a few of them just simply cannot live on the App Store. And it's great to see that Apple is not is not hiding that and is making it safer for users and for developers. So, yeah.
And most of the kind of apps you just mentioned are not things that the average user, whatever that means anymore, are going to use. I mean, the average user is not going to use a virtual machine and maybe a screen capture or screen recorder. But now that that's built into QuickTime, you don't quite have the same need for something external. So I feel like the App Store is expanding reasonably for most users, and those that have a bit more tech savvy know that they're going to trust somebody like iMazing and some other well-established vendors instead of just going out there and downloading something and clicking and installing God knows what.
Sure. Trust is a huge issue, and especially in our kind of segment where we deal with, iMazing deals with user data that can be very sensitive. We never upload anything anywhere, but how do users know that? How can they trust us? And to begin that relationship, to have a gatekeeper warning users that the app is from a trusted developer, but still it could be a risk, is not a great start. So yeah, it's an interesting development for sure.
They refer to them as security things, but the parental controls and the information controls, if you will, that Apple showed, does they provide any challenges to iMazing in any way?
The parental controls stuff, not at all. We're actually, I'm as a parent welcoming these features to be able to manage my daughter's screen time in that way. I'm talking about my daughter, but the eldest is the only one who's actively using iOS by herself, so it'll be my daughters in a few years. But right now, yeah, it's really great to see that Apple reacted so fast after that activist investor letter. What was it, 6 months ago?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And yeah, they said we're on it, and 6 months later, here we go. And it's not just more settings. It's actually really well done. I have it on iOS 12 right now in my pocket. And did you play around with it?
No, I haven't had a chance yet.
It's really well done. Well, maybe I'll show you later.
Yeah.
That
That won't show up real well.
won't show really well, but it's really easy. If you set up a device as a parent, then it just shows up. I see my daughter's device. I can just tap and see what she's up to, and just configure screen time. It's brilliant.
So how soon before the kids figure out ways around it?
I don't think it's going to be that easy.
Because it's at the OS level?
Yes, it's not going to be easy at all. It's not like the restrictions passcode where you could figure it out if you were very geeky. I'd say if you're a 12-year-old geek, you could work it out. No, this is at another level altogether.
I mean, that's good to hear for the parents that want and need that control. That's the kind of control they want. They want it built in, they want it simple, but they want it to work.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a very interesting question. I'll investigate that a bit more to see how could a child break the link between his device and his parents' device. Yeah, interesting one. Very interesting one. Good point.
Okay, let us know. Let us know. Sure. Let's go back to iMazing. I said at the outset that it really has become kind of a standard because there really is no other way to back up as completely an iDevice as with iMazing anymore. Apple just doesn't provide it in the same way that they used to.
So, to be honest, our backup is not more complete. The single backup is the same as an iTunes backup. There's actually no other way to back up a device. You ask the iOS device to back itself up, and iOS manages what's included in the backup. What's very different in iMazing is that we're transparent about what is in the backup. So you can browse and view the backed up data, you can recover a single file, you can extract it to different formats. So it's about ownership, giving you more ownership on your own data. And then we do versioning so that you can, just like Time Machine, go back in time. But I talked to you extensively about that last year because that was the big news. Now the news this year is that we're adding yet more views to let you browse your data. Now in 2.6 it's Safari data, so bookmarks, reading lists, and Safari history are all accessible in iMazing in a UI that looks a bit like what you'd see in Safari itself. And you can extract that to CSV or to HTML. You can import in Chrome if you want your bookmarks. So yeah, it's ownership. And we do calendars as well now. So export your calendars to ICS or to CSV. Also, we were inspired by both the iOS calendar app and the macOS calendar app. We tried to build a hybrid so that you feel at home. You have the same color-coded calendars, the same kind of paradigms, but it's halfway between the two versions.
Somewhere along the line, our phones became probably more important, arguably, than our computers, because not only are we doing more work on them, but we're storing more personal information that maybe doesn't live on my Mac, but it very much needs to live on my phone. And so having that backup, having that secured, and also being able to get it off in the event of something happening or moving it over to another device easily, quickly, it has just become more important than ever.
Yeah, I think even if you have an iCloud backup and all your data is safe, the problem is how accessible is that data. If suddenly you lose your device and you just need access to that one contact and you're in a rush, or you need to remember that event or that note or whatever, there are cases where having a backup is not enough. You need to access the data, and maybe you don't have time to restore that backup to a new device. Maybe you actually want to extract that data to a new format. And even with our GDPR, Apple just released tools to let us access all our cloud data and marketing data as well. I asked actually last week, I filled in the form and asked for all my data to be downloaded. It took a week for Apple to get it ready, and then it's in formats that are not so usable. It's kind of usable, but it takes a whole week. It's not clean, there's no UI, it's just data. So it's not enough to have the data. We need to have tools which let us browse it, search in it, and convert it to usable formats.
Because the phones are getting, the storage is getting bigger, and therefore we accumulate more things, and that's just more data to try to get through.
Yeah, sure.
So folks need to go check out iMazing. Where's the best place for them to go?
iMazing.com. That's you spell it just as you pronounce it. And iMazing.com, the download is free. And people don't know that enough, but a lot is free and no strings attached. Just go download, give it a go. You can do your backups for free. You can browse all your data for free. We start asking for a license when you extract data, when you want to restore a backup. You can restore them by iTunes, by the way. It's not that both are compatible. But if you want to back up and check it out, yeah.
Well, and that's great because it's a great service to the community that you give that option. And then if you want the more sophisticated features, that's when you ask to pay. Yeah. Gregorio, it's great to see you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, very nice to see you too, Chuck. Super happy to be here, and it's been a great couple of days so far.
Yeah. And we will do it again.
Amazing. Bye.
Good to see you. We'll do it again.
Great, Chuck. It's been a very nice couple of days, and very nice talking to you.
Good to see you. Folks, more from San Jose and WWDC and AltConf. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.